I'm over here in Atwater, California, getting my boat upholstery done. I look across the street and I see something mega going on here. And I'm thinking like, what are we doing here? I mean, this looks like some kind of stealth airplane of some kind. And I walked over here and Matthew started talking to me about some stuff. And I thought I'd show you guys a couple things here because it is really cool, right? And so what are we looking at here? What is all this stuff?
So where you are right now is Castle Air Museum's restoration hangar, where we take planes from various trades from various times and bring them up to display quality. The plane that right behind me is what's known as the F-117 Nighthawk.
Wow.
She's a stealth bomber. She's one of her first of her kind.
Do you have any idea the years approximately?
I'm 1985 around.
Wow, okay.
Was when she was actually said to exist.
Okay.
Because this bird was veiled under secrecy for many years.
Really?
When they were first building her, they actually took her, put her in a C-130 and fly her to the test site in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So I saw this right here. Can I show them this right here?
Yeah,
it said total weight 17,157 pounds. I would imagine that's what it weighs.
So
no?
It is part of its weight.
Okay.
As its configuration right now.
Oh, okay.
So her actual weight is quite a bit more because
it doesn't have the wings on it, right?
She doesn't have wings. She doesn't have engines.
All right, let me go over here and take a look. Now, would this be the missile? I mean,
no.
This would not be part of this thing at all.
Not, so this is actually a target drone that they would practice off of.
Okay.
So say you had a fighter flying around or a Navy ship that wants to get some practice trying to shoot something.
Okay.
They would launch these off the back, launch them off of planes or off the back of the ship and have them fly around and shoot at them.
Oh, wow, okay. So like this is where the wing would attach,
yes.
right? So what is this made out of? It feels like it's like aluminum?
Yes.
It is.
The majority of this aircraft is aluminum. Part of it, if we go to the back.
I'm gonna do one thing real quick. Sorry, go ahead.
Because of heat, titanium.
Okay, so oh wow, so the front's tight. You can tell, like when
yes.
you can tell it feels different.
So the brake would be right here.
Okay.
Aluminum, titanium.
Yeah.
So she would be a split of both.
Yeah.
That's because of her mission, which was to be as concealable to radar and to infrared as possible.
Right.
So.
As two people flew this one?
One person.
One person flew this. Wow. Can you imagine being in charge of this thing, man? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And the wings are probably super wide, right?
A little.
Okay.
This is actually the wings right here.
Okay.
So before we had her shipped from Tonopah Missile Testing Range, which is where they demilitarized them. So they pull off all the secret stuff, classified. They go through a demil process where they actually sandblasted everything off. They pulled the wings off and then they shipped it to us in 2 deliveries.
Okay.
So this is the wings, 2 of them. Wings would attach to these large bolt holes here.
Yeah. And the fuel, right? So the fuel would be held in the wings, right? And this is, I would imagine these are the fuel pickups probably or something.
Yes.
I could be wrong.
These
but I don't
are
know.
hydraulic pickups.
Okay.
Your fuel pickups are farther down here.
Okay, I see it. Yeah. Right there.
Yeah, it's a very... And these would be the mounting bolts.
Wow.
For the wing. There's a specific way you have to put in this wing, but until we really try, we're going to learn.
Yeah.
That's actually the tailpiece right there.
So how long does it take you to put this back together?
Depends on how bad of a shape the plane is.
Yeah.
So some aircraft come to us very well kept, and it only takes us a couple of months to turn them around.
Oh wow.
Like we just finished a AH-1 Cobra attack helicopter, very good condition, took us like a month or 2 of work.
Wow, okay.
This one's a multi-year project.
Yeah.
Because
it gets painted afterwards?
Yes.
Black, like a flat black or something?
It's going to be we're going to try to mimic the RAM, the radar resort material, which is what added to making this bird stealthy.
Okay.
In addition, we're actually having a company rebuild the leading edges.
Okay.
Because they were sandblasted off.
Oh wow, okay.
Under Lockheed Martin's and the Air Force's set.
Okay. Yeah, and so we got another one here, right?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
So
look at this thing.
This is a F-102. It's an Interceptor fighter back when we were worried less about missiles and more about bombers.
Okay.
So she would be stationed across the U.S., ready to scramble out of notice, fly up in the sky, and shoot down as many Russian bombers as possible.
Oh,
before
really?
they hit the coast.
Wow. So this was meant to actually fight up against bombers.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
That was her primary job.
What year was this thing in action, you think?
I'm going through my head because I have too many planes in my head. Around the 50s or so.
Okay.
50s, 60s.
Yeah. Wow, very cool. I want to show one over here too, because you guys are actually working on this one over here.
Yes.
And this thing's really cool, man. Look at this thing.
So
Now, what that sign on the back? Do you guys put that on there, or what is that?
This was just a little background. This is a A6E Intruder with a tram pod, so that's a big giant sensor pod in the front. This one was last stationed in USS Carl Vinson, as it says up here. But what makes her special is she's a commander's plane.
Oh, okay.
So she was in command of a larger group of aircraft.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, as per tradition, and this is a very usual thing in the Navy, the commander's plane always gets painted up the prettiest.
Wow. Okay.
So that's actually their squadron emblem, VA-196.
Wow. Well, that's a cool piece of history, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I'm thinking like, wow, that
it's
is
a very cool piece of history.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this is the.
And the Carl Vinson, that is
that is the aircraft carrier.
That's the carrier that it belonged to?
Yes.
Wow. And this is what year again?
I can't tell with Navy planes.
50s, 60s, I mean 60s?
No, 70s, 80s.
Wow, okay.
So early models were around the 70s.
Yeah.
But this is a much later model since they use the E version.
Yeah.
Air Force likes to go for alphabetical wise.
Do you guys get any of the data of what missions it went on?
Wait for the jet to pass by, but sometimes. So we know that usually the U.S. military gives us what's called a flag, which is just a basic information of what squadrons it was. Oh, that's the EA-6? Or we have sorry to interrupt, but a Navy plane is just flying by doing passes on a runway. But no, the Navy gives us, specifically for this plane, the Navy gives us a set of information. What squadrons it went to, kind of what operation it has. So we have a vague idea, but a lot of it comes down to us actually trying to hunt down people and try to figure out that story.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's really cool. I'm gonna look over here real quick too, because they're what are they doing over here? Are they painting something on here?
As we go through, right now we finished doing prep work on her.
Okay.
So now we're doing painting.
Okay.
So what these gentlemen over here are doing is doing some of the markings.
Oh, okay.
So on aircraft, you have multiple different markings signifying what squadron or some hazards.
Yeah.
So
now he's looking at a sheet, right? Is that?
So we're looking at a sheet for a reference.
So he's holding. Can I see if can I get over and show him the sheet?
John.
Can I just show him the sheet real quick that you're kind of going off here?
So that's this plane right here.
Okay.
We're kind of using it as a guide because it's sometimes a little hard to see over all the paint.
Yeah.
But right now what we're doing is we're doing some arrows for rescue tabs.
Wow. Okay.
So this is in case the plane crashes, you need to pop open the canopy or something.
Yeah.
That's one of the poles for it.
Wow.
And
Okay.
then, in addition, we're also doing danger markings because this plane tends to suck people into them.
Right. Now, is this you gotta have a passion for doing this, right?
Yes.
I mean, these people that do this, I would imagine most of it's volunteer.
We're all volunteers here.
It's all volunteer, right? So, I mean, that's pretty cool that these people are putting this effort in to show people some history of the United States. And
we like aviation. We like the stories that they have and all that kind of stuff.
And you said that some of these actually they don't run, but they get close, right?
So there's a few that actually flew in.
Okay.
So some planes, like a sibling of this, the EA-6, which is electronic warfare version of this, that flew in.
Wow.
Landed on our airstrip and we towed her in. Same with the C-130J that we have at our museum.
Wow.
Flew in, landed. Our Cobra, when it was delivered to another museum where we got it from, they literally just landed it, turned everything off, and walked away.
You handed you the keys.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that's really cool. So where can people see this stuff if they want to see it, like when it's all done? Look at that, man. Isn't that cool?
That's actually at Castle Air Museum in Atwater, California.
Yeah. Okay.
Right there on Santa Fe.
Yeah, right off of Santa Fe.
Wow.
So
This would be a turret? I mean, what is this?
So this is actually the tram pod.
Oh,
so
okay.
A6E tram, this is the tram. So this would be a camera, laser designator, and thermal imaging system all packed into one. So that this aircraft uses two people, pilot and then a bomber nav. Bomb nav is working this, trying to set up a target so that once it releases the munition, ammunition follows the laser down to its target.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty sophisticated for its time, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we get better and better every time.
Yeah.
So as time goes on, we start advancing into better stuff.
Yeah. That is so cool. Well, hey, I want to thank you for showing us this. I mean,
No
this is
worries.
really cool. I'm just fascinated with this stuff. Look at this thing right here, man. Let me just ask you this.
This is for a SH-53 Sea Stallion.
Okay.
So we're prepping to receive one in a month or two.
Yeah.
So these are actually its external fuel tanks.
Wow.
They're big.
Those are huge.
Yeah, the helicopter's big.
Okay. And this would this land on, is this?
No, so these are just, it has its own landing gear and stuff.
Okay, so that's not like landing.
That's just parts of it.
Wow, okay.
We had the general team that we're working with in Hawaii that's doing actual work had to take off parts of the helicopter to make it road legal for shipping.
Yeah. So,
So yeah, there's plenty of stuff here. We have a whole nother hangar too.
Yeah, I bet I could stay here all day and do this. It is really cool. Maybe next time, maybe when I pick it up, I'll do the other hangar if I see it here.
Definitely.
Very cool. And a little of American history right here in Atwater, California. Thank you.